Hey YouTube, Gunham here. Just an update for you all on my Battleship that I'm making for the SMDC. First off, yes, there's a lot of CIWS on this thing. Second off, yes, there's a ton of thrusters that are rear facing. Third, there's a door that is a placeholder. I like the detail I put in. I have put in a significant amount of thrusters on the sides, left, right, top, and bottom, to make sure that it, as you can see, some are every other one is pointing out and up. So, yeah, it's just the length of the thing. So, yeah. Now, alongside, I've put a significant amount of defensive weapons. Top and bottoms do like Kansas CIWS. The middle alters between Bofors 300mm guns and Aidens, and then 300 mils. So 40 mil, 40, 330, 340, 330, 340, 300, blah, 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 blah. Basically, every CIWS, there's a 300mm gun. Every dual light cannon, there's a Bofors or a Aiden. Now here it's reduced on the bottom for the side hanger, but it keeps going all the way to the front. We'll get to the front in a minute. First, there's the hangar door. This is 13 blocks, which is more than enough to deal with the Dragonfly Mark 1, which is bigger than the Mark 2. And the length. Yeah. The length. Now, if you go to the top, you will notice on the top and bottom, left and right, CIWS and dual light cannons in exactly the same location as here. And it runs the length of the ship. Now, this is a battleship. So, battleships have a lot of very big guns. There are 36 of these triple-barreled cannons on this thing. It's a lot of firepower. Now the front, well, first off, it looks awesome. Second off, a couple CIWS, a CIWS there, CIWS there, and CIWS there. So the front is CIWS filled. And it also has these, which are 250mm guns, and these, which are the Little Davids. Hit button 2. There's the 250s, and here's the Davids. You notice the shell velocity of the Davids is far higher than the 250mm. But, meh. In case you want to go against another target, you just use these. So yeah. Now I don't know what shell types they fire, but yeah. I would recommend firing high explosive from the 250s and armor piercing from the Davids, or alternate between, depending on what you want to kill. On the front, there's also a set of small thrusters, a pair of industrial thrusters, and a few Titan engines, along with a tri-bridge. The top area for fire control of some systems, bottom area for fire control of some systems, and then the central area, which is where I'm sitting. And because this is a new world, I've lost my okay. So yeah, a triple bridge, top, middle, bottom. So yeah. Now, you see how this hangar's all the way over here, which is more than halfway down the ship? Why is that hangar door there? Well, if I hit button 9, we can find out. Each one of these spots is large enough for a dragonfly. As you can see, you can fit 5 dragonflies in here. You can also fit 4 dragonflies in the left, the right, top, and bottom. So that's an additional 16. This is the main launch bay, going that way. Now these are incomplete. There is nothing on the back wall here for smaller craft. I have not put that in yet because I'm a little busy. However, I do have a maintenance area that is under construction. I need some welders in here. But that's a small maintenance area for heavily damaged fighters. Plenty of room in the middle to move. In fact, it goes up a little and down a little. And these lights actually work off of timer blocks that you can activate to open the doors, which reminds me I need the lights in the hangars and the buttons to open doors. Going here, this is how you get out. Well, this is really the way into the ship. You can launch from here if you want to. I would recommend against it. The main launch bay is out the back because, well, going out the back means the enemy, if the enemy is shooting at the side, you can open the other side, yes, but you won't be able to get very many out because they'll have to come over here then turn to get out. Whereas they can line up in here and you can launch a set of fighters at once instead of having to launch only 2 or 3. Or alternatively, having a couple go over here and then a couple here and then one in the middle and then opening one of the 2 doors and launching them out. So it's easier out of the back, but you can do out the front. Now, as for the rest of the ship, well, right here we have a serious amount of reactors, and that is not the only reactor room. Here's the gyros. You can see from the hangar where that is, along with the timer blocks. Right there. Here's the majority of the big gyros. Actually, that's the only big gyros. We have a huge amount of reactors down here with plenty of cargo above them. And huge amount of reactors with cargo up here. Because, yeah, reactors are awesome. And there's a lot of them. And guess what? That's not all the big reactors because of the sheer amount of thrusters in this thing. It's got a ton of reactors with 2 jump drives now. One in the front, which has actually basically only heavy armor in front of it, directly below this Sage Industrial Thruster, and a huge amount of reactors to the back here. And then that's just a wall that leads up to this set of reactors, which then has a heavy wall there, which, where did it go? Oh, it's above. The other jump drive, which is behind the cargo containers and next to the Titan engine. So yeah, there's heavy blocks around this on both sides, yeah. So it's not going to be easy. Now this is one of the ways into the ship, down here. There's plenty of room for whatever I want to put in here. This is one of the big Battleship's guns, which I just realized isn't connected. I need to fix that. I think that's the only one that's not connected. Why is it not even connected to the spot? The rest. Oh, because it didn't. I moved that over one. That's right. Okay. Okay. No problem. No problem. Now, so we have that, and you can see this here is a huge set of cargo units. This is primarily for the fighter bay. A huge amount of gyros here, directly next to these, and I believe if we go up, no, they're not. Oh yeah, that's right, because there's 2 Titan engines down there. There's one there and one there, so yeah. Okay, so go from the maintenance bay here, head out. You have a pair of refineries with nice modules, assemblers, and arc furnaces here, ready for you to use. Right next to a pair of Titan engines. Actually, there's 4 of them, so yeah. And by the cargo containers. Now, as you can probably see, there is a significant amount of empty room, and you won't believe how much room I've just filled in with light armor blocks already. And yet, yeah, this is one way to get around. Oh, that reminds me, I need to show you that a bit later. But, there's a lot of empty space in this ship, and I've been working on this thing for days. Yeah. But then again, the battleships don't have their connectors completely. The cargo units aren't all there, and the crew quarters aren't quite complete. We have this area here, which leads to this, which you go through here, through these, to the gyro room to get to here. Yeah. So yeah. This is the main bridge through here, and emergency facilities will be there. Oxygen generation here. That's what I have so far. A huge empty area, followed by this, which is a nice little ramp that goes down from one area to the other, which I don't need. This connects going to here on the bottom, which is set of reactors. As you can see, I have a ton of empty room also by the Titan engines. Also, you will see here, same on the other side, a series of beds with access to lockers for each individual. They go out of their bed and go forwards to the lockers. So technically everyone has a lot of lockers, so yeah. That is not the same on the other side, and if you go through to the back, you have far bigger top and bottom. The reason for that? Well, this one here is supposed to supply people in here, same with the other side. Now, the bottom one here is supposed to supply the maintenance area as well as this with personnel. So what about the top one? Well, that's for emergency fighter launch. That's also for here. So that actually, this front one is going to be for the main ship crew. These front ones. There's one here and one on the other side. So the fighters and maintenance crew will all be in the back here. That's the top. That's the bottom. And yeah. Yeah, and yes, I do have this massive hangar set up, which goes all the way to there. Goes from here up, forward a good ways, in, has this double area here, has something sticking in here, and then goes up and out with all this room, including this huge empty area here, and that took up less than 20% of the ship's interior. Oh yeah, another thing I haven't mentioned yet, batteries. There's a let's just say there were a lot more. I have removed them for lag issues, but there's still a lot of batteries here. Yeah. Now, as you can tell, this has a ton of empty room. I am going to be releasing this as a incomplete. Why? Because I want people to customize. And yes, there's a big empty area here. I don't actually know why this is empty. But I want people to customize their ships. So it's going to have a lot of empty stuff, but it will be having the basics before I'm done. I.e., the battleship guns will be connected. That will be more thoroughly finished. There will be some stuff in here and here, probably for the crew. There will be a lot more cargo containers for the guns, hydrogen fuel containers, you know, stuff like that. But there's gonna be a ton of empty room, and in case you're wondering, I have filled more than 5%, probably more like 10% of the ship's interior by now, 10% of the ship's interior with just light blocks, just to have a space filler. Light blocks. Just about 10% has been filled with that just to get rid of some space. Yeah. There's a lot of space in this thing. I was thinking I was thinking of something very special here. I'm still considering it. If I do, I'm going to have to maneuver a few things around. That's not a problem. If I do, I need to build a new ship, and it's gonna be awesome what I'm planning to do. I am gonna steal an idea from the UNSC Infinity from Halo, where, well, maybe it has a thing here, a thing here, a thing here, 3 on the other side, a couple doors there. Release the clamps, they go down, but they're kind of big. Anyone who knows Halo probably has an idea of what I'm talking about. The problem is, room. I need to remove some stuff in order to make room for them, because they're going to be bigger, and I needed to design them and make sure everything's clear so they don't destroy something on the way out. So, yeah, of course I do that. That'll take out a lot of the empty room in here, about 20% that's remaining, maybe more. I think there might be 30% remaining. This is probably all going to be cargo containers, except for this is a walkway as well. I have a lot of work to do. So, yeah, this is a work in progress video of the Battleship that is still incomplete. I love those guns. Don't get in front of this thing. Now, in case you're wondering the size, well, it is, as you can see, 95 to there, so stick it out a bit more. It's about, what's that, 113, 110, so that's to 95, so 110 plus 15, so 125 meters wide, unknown high, but as you can see, the length, 352. That is sticking out at that point, which is not sticking out that much in the front, and does not stick out much at all in the back. Basically, subtract 5-6 meters. So, yeah. I will be uploading this to the Steam Workshop. In case you haven't seen, there's over 500 thrusters, over 1,000 batteries, there's over 700 gyroscopes, and this thing, with all this empty room in here, all this empty room throughout the whole thing, look at all this empty room, and I will have to surround this with heavy armor blocks if I build that, so I might not, but all this, with all that empty room, and it weighs over 100 million kilos. That's 107,069,000. Oh, great. Over 107 million kilograms. Over 107 million kilograms, and the interior is only about 40% occupied. If you ignore the hangar. If you have the hangar, it's way more. It's like 60%. It's not that much. The hangar has a ton of empty room. It's ridiculous. I will be uploading this to the Steam Workshop as a work in progress until completed. Oh yeah, the first 4 guns here are... The first 4 guns are looking front. The last 4 guns are looking back. The 5... I think it's 5. Yeah, it's 5. Or is it 6? It's 5. The 5 on our side are sticking out. So, yeah. This thing isn't small at all. And, again, I have to finish this thing before I can even build, or begin to build, the Battleship. I mean, not the Battleship, the large space station. What I have not built yet is additional ways in the ship. So, I'm going to do a favor to all of you and open those doors. So it'll be nice and easy for you to get inside. To go to the cockpit, well, that's easy. Go out this door, fly around to right here. Go in here, you're in the cockpit. You're done. Alternatively, I'm going to leave that there because it is a work in progress. Everyone who is interested in this battleship, please comment, like the video. Also, lastly, I still need help trying to decide A or B. The idea of A for the large space station is literally the exact same as the medium one, well, except for it is going to be significantly bigger. The medium is about 350 meters long. This battleship can fit within the medium space station with the guns not sticking out on it. In fact, the antenna will, by 2 meters, be sticking out of the medium space station. Alright, so it's about 350 meters. The space station for the large will be the same shape and design. If it is option A, it'll just be over 2 kilometers long. And the similar ratio means it's gonna be huge on the inside. So that's option A. Take the medium, 350 meters long, and make it 2 kilometers plus. Option B, which I like, but it's going to be more complicated, is to add in these nice, instead of having a whole bunch of stuff here on the side, it's rather to have these nice segments here with a bigger gap in between them. This nice segment where you can put a bunch of stuff, top and bottom, and a little connected here. And that is option B. Now, total size 19 compared to, well, 19, so sorry. But basically, I was thinking of having there be more room with option B than there is for option A. It was going to be slightly wider and slightly taller with more space for wider and taller ships. Because, as you can tell from the battleship design, it's kind of wide, but not that tall, and it is very long. Basically, I would make more of a rectangle than a pair of rectangles stuck together. However, I do also like this. So the idea is A or B. A, take the medium, make it way bigger. B, add in these segments along the side and have nice gaps in between them. So instead of having spines all over the place, there'll be a couple of spines here and there, and then huge segments with all sorts of stuff, and then another spine, and then a big gap. So there'll be big gaps. So of course that means these segments would have to be kind of big, which means you could stick a ton of stuff on them, including weapons to defend the station. I like B. The problem is the station would be huge if I went with option B. Option A would be far simpler, and I already know the general shape, instead of having to come up with something new. But again, however, the main problem with this is not the size, but the fact that this space station excuse me, this space station is supposed to be a station for Titans, and Titans are unique. So usually stations that build Titans are highly unique in look in comparison to stations that build frigates, destroyers, cruisers, battlecruisers, and battleships. Dreadnoughts can be built at the Titan station, not at the battleship station. You can have multiple Dreadnoughts because they're not going to be very big, but Titans can barely fit inside. So the question is, what will suffice? I am leaning towards B, but then again, A is already recognizable. So please tell me A or B. Also, comment about the Battleship. It's in the Steam Workshop, link in the video description, but do you think the idea of option A for the large space station, the general shape to be like the medium and the small but way bigger, or B, which is a new design? What do you think? A or B? Catch you later. Actually, not catch you later, I just remembered there's a little something about an update where you spawn in the planets and it destroys your base. So yeah, I have lost my bases and have spawned in the planets. I'm also having some problems with my mods.